he does. Why, this whole thing, it's some kind of madness or something. That's exactly what it is, some kind of madness. You must watch who you're seeing with, Steve. Till we get all this straightened out, you ain't exactly above suspicion yourself. Or you, Charlie. Or any of us, it seems, from age 8 on up. What I'd like to know is, what are we going to do? Just stand around here all night? There's nothing else we can do. One of them will tip their hand. They've got to. There's something you can do, Charlie. You can go home and keep your mouth shut. You can quit strutting around like a self-appointed judge and climb into bed and forget it. You sound real anxious to have that happen, Steve. I think we better keep our eye on you, too. I think everything might as well come out now. Your wife's done plenty of talking, Steve, about how odd you are. Go ahead, tell us what she said. Go ahead, what's my wife said? Let's get it all out. Let's pick out every idiosyncrasy of every single man, woman, and child on the street. And then we might as well set up some kind of citizen's court. How about a firing squad at dawn, Charlie, so we can get rid of all the suspects, narrow them down, make it easier for you. There's no need getting upset, Steve. It's just that, well, Myra's talked about how there's been plenty of nights you spent hours down in your basement working on some kind of radio or something. Well, none of us have ever seen that radio. Go ahead, Steve. What kind of radio set you working on? I've never seen it. Neither has anyone else. Who do you talk to on that radio set? And who talks to you? I'm surprised at you, Charlie. How come you're so dense all of a sudden? Who do I talk to? I talk to monsters from outer space. I talk to 3-headed green men who fly all over here in what look like meteors. Steve, please. It's just a ham radio set, that's all. I bought him a book on it myself. It's just a ham radio set. A lot of people have them. I can show it to you. It's right down in the basement. Show them nothing. If they want to look inside our house, let them go and get a search warrant. Look, buddy, you can't afford to... Charlie, don't start telling me who's dangerous and who isn't, and who's safe and who's a menace. And you're with them, too, all of you. You're all standing here, all set to crucify, all set to find a scapegoat, all desperate to point some kind of finger at a neighbor. Well, now, look, friends, the only thing that's going to happen is that we'll eat each other up alive. That's not the only thing that can happen to us. Down the street, a figure has suddenly materialized in the gloom. In the silence, we hear the clickety-clack of slow, measured footsteps on concrete as the figure walks slowly toward them. One of the women lets out a stifled cry. Sally grabs her boy, as do a couple of other mothers. It's the monster! It's the monster! Another woman lets out a wail, and the people fall back in a group, staring toward the darkness of the approaching figure. The people stand in the shadows watching. Don Martin joins them, carrying a shotgun. He holds it up. We may need this. A shotgun? No. Will anybody think a thought around here? Will you people wise up? What good would a shotgun do against... The dark figure continues to walk toward them as the people stand there, fearful, mothers clutching children, men standing in front of their wives. No more talk, Steve. You're going to talk us into a grave. You let whatever's out there walk right over us, would you? Well, some of us won't. It's Pete Van Horn. Pete Van Horn? He was just going to go over to the next block to see if the power was on. You killed him, Charlie. You shot him dead. But I didn't know who he was. I certainly didn't know who he was. He comes walking out of the darkness. How am I supposed to know who he was? Steve, you know why I shot. How was I supposed to know he wasn't a monster or something? We're all scared of the same thing. I was just trying to protect my home, that's all. Look, all of you. That's all I was trying to do. I didn't know it was somebody we knew. I didn't know. Charlie, the lights just went on in your house. Why did the lights just go on? What about it, Charlie? How come you're the only one with lights now? That's what I'd like to know. You were so quick to kill, Charlie, and you were so quick to tell us who we had to be careful of. Well, maybe you had to kill. Maybe Pete there was trying to tell us something. Maybe he'd found out something and came back to tell us who there was amongst us we should watch out for. No, it's nothing of the sort. I don't know why the lights are on. I swear I don't. Somebody's pulling a gag or something. A gag? A gag? Charlie, there's a dead man on the sidewalk and you killed him. Does this thing look like a gag to you? No, please. A man breaks away from the crowd to chase Charlie. As the man tackles him and lands on top of him, the other people start to run toward them. Charlie gets up, breaks away from the other man's grasp, lands a couple of desperate punches that push the man aside. Then he forces his way, fighting through the crowd, and jumps up on his front porch. Charlie is on his porch as a rock thrown from the group smashes the window beside him, the broken glass flying past him. A couple of pieces cut him. He stands there, perspiring, rumpled, blood running down from a cut on the cheek. His wife breaks away from the group to throw himself into his arms. He buries his face against her. We can see the crowd converging on the porch. It must be him. He's the one. We gotta get Charlie. Look, I swear to you, it isn't me. But I do know who it is. I swear to you, I do know who it is. I know who the monster is here. I know who it is that doesn't belong. I swear to you, I know. All right, Charlie, let's hear it. It's. Go ahead, Charlie. It's the kid. It's Tommy. He's the one. That's crazy. He's only a boy. But he knew. He was the only one. He told us all about it. Well, how did he know? How could he have known? How could he know? Who told him? Make the kid answer. The crowd starts to converge around the mother, who grabs Tommy and starts to run with him. The crowd starts to follow, at first walking fast and then running after him. Suddenly, Charlie's lights go off, and the lights in other houses go on, then off. It isn't the kid. It's Bob Weaver's house. Oh, it isn't Bob Weaver's house. It's Don Martin's place. I tell you, it's the kid. It's Charlie. He's the one. People shout, accuse, and scream as the lights go on and off. Then slowly, in the middle of this nightmarish confusion of sight and sound, the camera starts to pull away until, once again, we have reached the opening shot, looking at the Maple Street sign from high above. Scene 2. Understand the procedure now? Just stop a few of the machines and radios and telephones and lawnmowers, throw them into darkness for a few hours, then just sit back and watch the pattern. And this pattern is always the same, with a few variations. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves. And all we need to do is sit back and watch. Then I take it this Maple Street, is not unique. By no means. Their world is full of Maple Streets, and we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves. One to the other, one to the other, one to the other. The tools of conquest do not necessarily come from bombs and explosions and fallout. There are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudices can kill and suspicion can destroy. A thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has fallout all its own for the children, and the children yet unborn. And the pity of it is that these things cannot be confined to the Twilight Zone.